Gauteng Municipalities Committee of Inquiry report has been released. The committee was appointed in 2019 to look into the state of affairs at the province's 11 municipalities. The report looked at financial governance, institutional capability and service delivery. For more on this, I am joined by the Chairperson of the Committee of Inquiry, Professor Trevor Fowler. Prof, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. I'd love to ask you for an overall picture, but I don't have that much time. Let's talk about what you found when it comes in particular to service delivery. Which municipalities are failing here?
Thank you, Tshwane, and good afternoon to your viewers. The municipalities overall, we have found that there are really municipalities that are doing well and some that are not doing so well. In one particular area, we have a municipality called Rand West, which is an amalgamation of two municipalities, Randfontein and Western Area, where there has been a 5-week strike by the municipal union because there was a feeling that the municipal, because of the amalgamation, their grade had gone up and they needed higher salaries. And so as a consequence, there was a 5-week strike. And though agreement has been reached, there was a significant disruption in services. And that really has to be something that the provincial government should focus on and ensure that the people of Randfontein and Western Area, now Rand West, receive adequate services.
Yeah. You know, this Tshwane, of course, was in the spotlight because its leaders were kicked out and then re-elected, etc., over the past couple of years. How did that affect service delivery there? Because we know that the Cooperative Governance MEC of Gauteng actually used that as one of the reasons to get in there and kick the DA out.
Well, in my understanding, the governance or the council really broke down, and certainly it, to a degree, had an impact on the service delivery, because they had to have a municipal manager wasn't appointed, couldn't be appointed, and there was an administrator. Now, the moment you have an administrator who was a competent administrator, but you have to get to know the municipality and ensure that the services continue, and that certainly will affect the service delivery because of the disruption that occurred. Since the court decision, things have gone back to the situation that was previously, and services should be improved.
Yeah. One of the points you looked at was leadership, and you say the issue of leadership, both politically and administratively, has to be dealt with systemically with specific goals in long-term development plans to which the leadership must strive to achieve. So overall, it seems like there has to be work done when it comes to the leaders in municipalities. What do you reckon needs to change to bring about a better performing municipality?
Well, I think there are a number of things around leadership. So it's not really just leadership, administrative leadership, it's also political leadership. There are several municipalities that passed what are called unfunded budgets, which means that their expenses are greater than the income they're going to receive. And though that's quite illegal, yet it passed the entire council in one or two municipalities, which is really quite a failing by both the administrative and the political leadership. In other areas where you've got leadership in relation to, for instance, in Mfuleni, where there was water, pumps were unable to be repaired because they didn't have sufficient income. There, political leaders and the councils need to make hard decisions as to how they're going to reprioritize their spending to ensure that they're able to provide those services. And sometimes those are very, very hard decisions, which may have an impact on the services and other aspects of service delivery. But it is a decision that has to be made when you've got a health situation, a health crisis, where the army had to be brought in. So those are the kinds of tough decisions that really do have to be made.
Yeah.
Those are the areas of leadership that we're talking about.
So talking about tough decisions, who's ultimately responsible here? Because you obviously have mayors who say that they don't get the support they need. You'll have MECs who say that the municipalities are not doing their jobs. There needs to be some accountability, doesn't it?
Well, ultimately, the council is responsible for the policy decisions. But administratively, it's the municipal manager who's the accounting officer and is responsible for what happens administratively in the municipality. And if there are difficult decisions, that's where those difficult decisions have to be made, really at an administrative level. So there is a separation between the political and the administrative. And if the administration is not meeting it, then meeting the requirements, then the council has to hold the municipal manager accountable.
Overall, given your investigation into municipalities, Prof, do you think we should be worried?
Well, I do think there's a need for worry in several municipalities. There are one or two municipalities.
Unfortunately, we've lost that connection to Professor Trevor Fowler, telling us about his report into Gauteng municipalities. Last thing he said, though, was that we should be worried about several municipalities and the way they are being run.